Well, Big Beat family, we are privileged today to have Tommy Castro on the phone right after he dropped his latest album, Closer to the Bone. Tommy, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. It's exciting. We're just dropped the record yesterday, and I'm leaving. Well, we'll start our tour on Tuesday. In
And that is something else. You got a pretty fast moving tour too, I saw. Where do you start off at Tuesday?
Antone's in Austin, and this is the first time we started a tour in Texas. Interestingly enough, um, we have a lot of requests from our fans to come to Texas. And the routing doesn't always work out. But we made a point this release to make sure we were going to get to come through there. And we, like I said, we have a lot of friends and fans and a lot of blues lovers down there. So we're looking forward to starting the tour, with a big beat bang.
Well, that's a good way to put it. We are worldwide at the Big Beat, but we're based in Texas, so we're glad to have you. And I know the Texas blues music fans and music fans in general will give you a big old Texas welcome. And I think on Wednesday night you're going to be in Dallas, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to be at the Kessler Theater with my old friend, uh, Marcia Ball, who's just one of the most entertaining performers that I've ever come across, because she's a little different. I mean, how many guitar players there are out there, right? I mean, Jesus, the whole blues scene is basically dominated by guitar players, and I guess that's good for me. I don't know. I don't know if it's good for me or not, but I just like it when it's refreshing, to listen to different kind of blues artists, especially somebody as homegrown and indigenous as Marcia Ball. I mean, she's a Cajun woman from Louisiana who made her home in Austin, Texas, uh, and so is part of that whole, you know, the Gulf scene ever since she was a young girl, playing this music, and so she's got a lot of good stories and a lot of good songs, and man, she just really can rock the piano.
Yeah, she really can. We saw her the last time you were in Dallas with her, and you can tell there's a lot of that culture coming out of Marsha's music. It is something else. So it'll be a privilege to see you and her together again. And I encourage all of our listeners to get to the nearest Tommy Castro concert because it is something to see. And it's been a while since you dropped an album, so we're very excited to see Closer to the Bone come out from Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. Tell us about this album. It seems to be we've been playing "Woke Up and Smelled the Coffee" on the Big Beat, and the audience loves it. It seems to be uh, that a fitting name for it is Closer to the Bone. Just my take on it, Tommy. You tell me if I'm right or wrong or what you think. But it seems like you got closer to the roots of blues. Maybe is that why you named it that, or why did you name it Closer to the Bone?
Well, yeah, actually the concept or the idea for the album was before the title. So I was just looking to make a what I would call a real blues album, because our music, comes from, well, it's rooted in traditional blues music. We love our, sort of Memphis soul, the sounds of, Stax record, soul music from back in the 60s, and a lot of soul music from all over the country, but we kind of lean towards that Memphis sound. And then we do some funk, and we do some blues rock, and we do some rock and roll, and everything, depending on how the song, I write a song and then I play it in the way that seems to, suit the tune. And so our music is, considered contemporary blues, and that's what we do. Generally, write my own songs and make records, um, with this sound that we've developed over the years that we like to think is our own. And but this, you know, really, I owe a lot to the traditional blues artists. That's where I really found this my love of this music started. And so I just wanted to, for once, just do an album, just blues. So there's no blues rock on the album. There's no funk. There's no rock and roll. It's just, it's all blues and very, very seldom goes off of that. There's a couple of songs that, might veer off of that formula a little bit, but there's 14 tracks.
I
and
see.
Yeah, and so all of it was different kinds of traditional blues that I really loved and wanted to do, and it wasn't really concerned about making this a song of my own songs, an album full of my own songs. I threw like we have like four originals in there just to just for good measure of our own, and then we just picked some cool uh, songs from other artists that were not so obvious, you know.
Right.
So
It,
I mean, the only kind of really known artists that we cover was Johnny Guitar Watson and Ray Charles.
oh wow.
The rest of them are like guys like friends of mine, like Johnny Nitro from the Bay Area,
Yeah.
Chris Kane. Chris Kane is was the original "Woke Up and Smelled the Coffee."
Oh really? Okay, great.
It was on his album 30 years ago, and I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to cover somebody, there's really nobody better than Chris Kane. why,
Yeah.
why why wouldn't I do one of his songs? And I always loved that song called "Woke Up and Smelled the Coffee." My mother used to say that to me all the time. Wake
Yeah.
up and smell the coffee. You
Mine
know,
too. Right after the SPAC,
yeah,
she'd say
I'll be
that.
dawdling around, being late for school, and not having. And she would wake up and smell the coffee, and so, and it's such a well written tune. Kane's, he's really good songwriter. People know him as a great player, but of course he's also a great songwriter. And so, Johnny Nitro, Chris Kane, Ron Thompson, another Bay Area guy that had a brush with the big time, playing with Mick Fleetwood and um, things like that. But still wound up being someone that not everybody everywhere knows about. So I did one of his songs. This guy named Mike Duke. He's one of these guys from Texas, kind of in that Delbert McClinton uh,
Hmm.
sort of stable of players. He played in Delbert's band. He played with Wet Willie. He was a member of Wet Willie. You know, um, Jimmy Hall's band for years, and then he wrote a bunch of hit records for Huey Lewis and the News. And
Oh,
now he
that's
lives
great.
out in Northern California, and he works out at a venue that we play sometimes, and he's kind of a caretaker there. And every time, and there's a piano in the green room, so every time we play there, Mike Duke, sits me down, and I listen to a few of his songs, and finally, I decided it was time to cut one of his. So that's how that "Keep Your Dog Inside" came about.
Well, that
But
is
anyway,
great. Yeah, the our audience is when they're listening to this, they're going to be shaking their heads. Yes, 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 because they are a well-educated audience when it comes to music. So you are hitting on all of the things they want to hear. And we focus
cool.
at the Big Beat on how one artist or one genre influences the other, and that's sounds like that's how this whole concept came together. So that's great. That is
Yeah,
great.
we really had a good time. Then I wound up with some interesting guests, like of course my partner and soon to be my wife. We're getting married in October. Is
Ah,
Deanna Kodak.
congratulations. That's great.
Yeah, me and Dee are getting hitched on the Blues Cruise in October. It's going to
Oh,
be
wow.
quite an event. But she sang on that song with me, "Keep Your Dog Inside." And he also played saxophone on the Johnny Guitar Watson song and Bloodshot Eyes. And we had Chris Kane playing piano on the Ray Charles song. We
Wow.
had
So
a
not only did you cover a tune, but you got him on the record too, huh?
I got him on the record playing piano, which is something that's kind of rare because he is a really good piano player, but I don't think people know that. Not very many people know that. And he plays in the style of Ray Charles. When you hear him play, he kind of sounds like Ray. So I thought, I got an idea. Let's see if Chris will play piano on this song. And then we had the couple guys, the Sons of the Soul Survivors. They're a gospel quartet from Oakland, California. Those guys sang background on two or three songs. Chris Kid Anderson, of course, who's the genius behind the production of this record, all the music. He was involved in every step of the way. And to make a record like this, you really need a guy like Kid Anderson who really understands the traditional blues stuff. Kept me honest. I would try to drive the amp a little too much and make it a little too dirty, and he would back me down a little bit to clean it up a little bit. Because uh, he was trying to keep me, help me to be the most authentic as we were putting this music together. And so it was a big help to me in production, arranging, and just coming up with cool ideas. And he played a little bit of everything. He played on the some songs he played on bass, some songs he played on the guitar, sometimes he played the piano, and sometimes he played organ. And I think that was about it, other than hand
Wow.
clapping.
Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned a couple things since we've been talking. One, your sound. It is unique, and it has a listener buzzing when you play. There's nobody that sounds like Tommy Castro and the Painkillers, and to keep you authentic. I don't know what that would take. You sound authentic right out of the box. So it's just, I know our audience can't wait to hear this album. It dropped yesterday. It's called Closer to the Bone, and what a great project. I just love the concept, and I know they will too. Now you got a pretty big set of gigs coming up to support this record, right?
Yes, sir. And I think we get to the Kessler on the weekend, don't we? Am I
I
right?
think it's Wednesday coming up. It's this Wednesday.
Oh
Coming.
well, that's.
It's the 12th. Yeah, the
I
12th
should
in
look at my
Dallas.
calendar.
I
it's
can
been
only keep
it's
you. I can only keep you on target for the Dallas concert. The rest is up
it's
to you. But it's the 12th.
it's been a pretty busy time. Nowadays when you release a new record, there's so much to do. Because you have the added. We used to do a radio interview, a print interview, here and there, and that was about it when it came to putting a new album out. But now you have all this social media stuff to attend to, and we're determined to keep up. It's easy to get behind and get lost in that world, and so I've got a lot of help, and but at the same time, everything that I need to do, and there's a long list of stuff, and so I am a little. Uh, my schedule is a little unclear to me, but Wednesday night is as good as any night, because first of all, our audience tends to be skew a little older, and a lot of our people are, don't have to get up for work in the morning anymore,
Yeah,
and sure so don't have to go to school.
that's
So,
right.
so, so a Wednesday night, hump night, I say everybody should come on out and act like it's Saturday.
That'll be great. And then it looks like your tour is available at tommycastro.com and you're busy through, whether you know it or not, you're busy through February and March and a few dates in August and the cruise coming up at the end of the year. And I think you've got, you're heading over to Europe, right?
Yep, we're going to fit it all in somehow.
Yeah.
And and anyway, we're really looking forward to getting out there. I've been training, riding my bike around the neighborhood, trying to get my wind, my lungs strong, and so I can come out there and just kick some butt. Oh, by the way, the band is in really good form right now. I got a great band
Oh,
these
that's great.
days. And Marcia will probably jam with us in the finale of the night. She'll come up and join us, and then we'll what we like to call keep it fresh.
Oh, nice.
That means we don't know what we're going to do until we do it.
That sounds like a great way to live life. We kind of go that way on the big beat. We're free form. We play whatever we want. Sometimes we don't know what's coming out until we decide to spin the record. So it's great, and it's enabled us to bring to our audience real time discussions like this one. And we're going to get that out in front of our social media audience and on the radio today. And it's just been a pleasure speaking with you. Anything else you want the audience to know about the record or about you or about the tour?
No, that's about it. Just we'd like to, invite everybody to come on down. There should be plenty of seating, but we also we like to see a dance crowd. So if you're the kind of if you like to get up and dance, I mean that when we started out, that's what everybody did all the time. And as time goes by, there's a little more sitting and in our audience these days, which is understandable. I like a good seat, but I like to, also like to get up and dance when the music hits me. And so we like to, I think at the Kessler, we can do that. I think there's room for people to get up and shake something if they get in the mood. And so get yourself ready for a party, people. Come on down and help us celebrate this new record.
Well, that'll be great. We'll have some representatives from the station at the Kessler, and we'll have some listeners there too. And you'll recognize them because they'll be the ones starting to dance. And then, since we reach the nation and the world, you can safely assume that anybody who's the first one standing up shaking it listens to the big beat. So, just that's how you'll
All
spot it,
right.
probably.
That's that's good to know, Charlie. Well, thank you, man.
Hey, Tommy, thank you for the time today. We certainly appreciate it. Everybody listening, go out, listen to Closer to the Bone, and stay tuned to the Big FM to hear every single track that is on it, especially during the Soul Kitchen on Thursday nights. Tommy, we'll talk to you later. Thank you again.
All right, Charlie. Take care, man. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.